Hey guys, welcome to Barca Ball. My name is Nestor, and let's get right into the topics. So last time we covered a lot of Barcelona. Now we're going to be talking about European soccer just as a whole. We're going to be covering one game that happened in the Serie A. That's a very important game, the Roma Napoli game. We're also going to be covering Arsenal Liverpool. We're also going to be covering Spurs Everton a little bit. We're going to cover Man United and that disaster against West Ham. We're going to be talking about Dortmund, and we'll be talking about Bayern a little bit, and the leaders of the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen. All right, so let's get right into it, guys. Let's talk about Napoli and Roma. Napoli-Roma game. Well, it was a feisty game, that's for sure. A lot of yellow cards were given out. There was 2 red cards given out. Osimhen going off the field at the end. Lukaku scoring at the end of the game, and it just seemed like Napoli were just unorganized. Napoli just didn't seem like last year's Napoli. Of course, like they did lose what is it? Min-jae Kim to Bayern, obviously. Kim was such an important revelation, honestly, in Napoli's defense, and now he's playing for Bayern, which Bayern are using him a lot. He swims really good. He's strong. He's like agile. He's quick. He looks like a great defender, a great center back, and I mean that is a big loss for them. It seems like this season, and we're able to see that. Obviously, like their defense isn't as great. They're like 7th in the Serie A right now, as like last year's winners. This is like really crazy, I feel. Because they still have Osimhen and they still have Kvaratskhelia. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. It's a very difficult name. I might just call him Cavaradona because, like, a lot of Napoli people are calling him that at the moment, or did call him that. He looks amazing still. He's having a good season. Him and Osimhen are still solid. Osimhen just signed a new contract, actually, guys. But I still think he is gonna get a move maybe this summer. I do know the release clause is a whopping 120 million, which I know it's a lot of money, but let's be realistic. He's probably gonna go to a Prem side, and the Prem has that money. I don't know if he will move, but I think he's still gonna move because he's had a lot of problems with the Napoli board. I don't know if you guys know about that, but a couple racist statements, or racially like insensitive at least statements, were given by like the Napoli social media, which was not, obviously that's not good. But yeah, I think he's just gonna get a move. I think this deal that he signed helps him just get more money in the short run, and also like gives him a release clause so he can leave during the summer or maybe next year. But I do think he's gonna leave this summer. But let's get into the game nevertheless. Well, the 2 players getting sent off was Matteo Politano and Victor Osimhen. Obviously, like those, Matteo was sent off earlier and Osimhen was sent off near the end of the game. But they just, I don't know, they just didn't seem to come together, Napoli. At least that's what I saw. They're just falling down. Both managers got yellow cards, and it was a very feisty game. Roma did play well. Roma are gonna probably try to make that push for the top 4. Mourinho is still, Mourinho, obviously, and he's still getting the best results out of his players, even though I know Dybala didn't play this game, and he doesn't have a star-studded cast and not realistically like the best squad in the Serie A, but like he's still working his magic, I feel, with them, and led them to the European championship final last year. I forgot what it's called. It's not the Euros, it's the one right below it. The thing escapes me, but I did watch the game. I think he was robbed, but hey, like, it happens. We move on. I obviously think that I think Roma should have won that game. But yeah, I mean, the 2 people that scored were Lukaku at the end and Bellotti. Mourinho still has it in the bag, I feel, and I don't know. He had an encounter with Kvaratskhelia, at least, where he's grabbing his face, and that's what he got the yellow for. He's grabbing his face, and it was just a tense moment because it looked like Kvaratskhelia was diving a little bit, and Mourinho was, obviously, you guys all know how Mourinho is. He's very protective of his players, and he's always a personality, and he was probably yelling at him. Kvaratskhelia probably approached him, and Mourinho just grabbed him, and it was like, and I genuinely hope this is what he said. I don't know what he said. I couldn't really see it. There hasn't been really good angles of it, but and plus I don't speak Italian, but I really hope he said, "I am Jose Mourinho. I am the special one. I really hope that would be fucking awesome. That would be amazing. That'd be hilarious too. Mourinho is that type of guy where he would be like, I am Jose Mourinho. I am the special one. Or something along the lines of that. I would have really enjoyed it. He probably just told him, stop diving, stop being a baby or something like that. Which also, pretty great. I still think Mourinho has it in the bag, obviously. Masterclass from them. And yeah, I know they're trying to sign a center back, I think, in January. That's what a lot of reports are coming out. They're trying to get Bonucci, I heard, but I don't know if Bonucci is the best option. I know he's really old. He's playing for Union Berlin. I know Union Berlin did fairly well last year in the Bundesliga, but I don't know. I don't know if like Bonucci is the answer. I mean, maybe it's a bit of reinforcements. I don't know what Roma's like financial situation is, but nevertheless, Bonucci is someone they're hoping to bring in January. We'll see how it goes. Now let's move on from the Serie A. Let's go into the Prem. The Arsenal Liverpool game, the big game that just happened the 23rd. It was probably the biggest game maybe in Europe this past weekend. I mean, it ended up being a 1-1 draw. It was very an exciting game, though. It was an exciting game. There was a lot of chances being created from both sides. Arsenal got an early goal off a set piece from Gabriel. Gabriel just headed that in there and, you know, kind of just did his job. Van Dijk was in good positioning and just looked around like, hey, what are you guys even doing? What is the defense doing right now? Mohamed Salah going in, scoring again around like the 30th minute mark, if I'm not wrong. And, like it was a good goal, feisty, like just how Mohamed Salah is. Mohamed Salah is one of the best wingers in European football at the moment. So yeah, he's gonna get you goals, and he got him one. There was like a very big miss by Trent actually. It was like a 4-on-1, I think, situation if I'm not mistaken, and Trent just like Mohamed Salah has it. He's like, it's 4 versus 1. I forgot who was the defender. He's just running back. Mohamed Salah passes it to Trent, and then Trent just hits it off the crossbar, and it's like that was the point where like Liverpool could have actually gone top of the league, would have been maybe, I know they're title challengers still. They're a couple of points behind Arsenal, but like they could have gone, like, they would have passed Arsenal. They would have been top of the league going into Christmas break. It would have been great for them. And yeah, it didn't happen. That's really terrible. It just sucks. But Trent needs to be more clinical there. Trent's a great player and all, but that's something he is missing, I feel, from his repertoire. So yeah, I feel like that was a very big miss for them, and missed opportunity at least. Um, the game was good overall. Like, there's nothing that you can say. At the end, though, there is the controversy. Was it or was it not a pen by Odegaard? Like, I know he was falling, but he does grab the ball with his hand, and I know, like, what a lot of people are saying, it's not, VAR is not involved, blah, 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 blah. VAR has had many, many, many bad decisions in the Prem, and maybe we can talk about that in a different video, but overall, VAR has not been great this year throughout Europe, I would say. But I do think that's a handball. I do think that was a penalty for Liverpool. That I know he's falling. I know the rules technically says if he's falling, he could put his hand up. But it is a pen. Because if he would have fell and he would have tripped him, it would have been a pen. And no one would have really batted an eye. So why is this not a pen? I do feel Liverpool was a little bit robbed there. But at the end of it all, like, it is what it is. Let's move on. Liverpool are just sitting a couple points behind them. And yeah, they're going to try to make a title push, obviously. So we'll see what happens with that. But it was a good game. I think it was a missed opportunity for both clubs. Arsenal could have, taken really the Premier League reigns better. And then Liverpool could have gone top of the league. So very big opportunity missed for both clubs. I think that Arsenal did get the better of them, I guess, since they did play at Anfield, and Anfield's a really hard place to win. So I think that they're kind of happy with what happened, but obviously a win would have been much better for them. But let's talk about the Spurs-Everton game really quickly. I don't have really much of that. I didn't really get to see a lot of the game, but Richarlison's scoring is really good for Tottenham, because Richarlison hasn't been very good. Hasn't looked like a very good signing, honestly. And I really like Richarlison. I think he's a good talent. I don't know what's been happening with him lately, but look, this is like The first time he scored back-to-back in a really long time. I know it was against Everton, his previous club. So hopefully if he gets into like a good run of form, he's able to look like the Richarlison of the past, where he did play for Everton, and start banging in the goals. And if that happens, we'll see where Tottenham ends up. But Tottenham is really in the fight at this point, I feel, for top four. I really do feel they're a bit out of the title race now. But we'll see how it happens after January, if they make any signings or not. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Everton's still fighting that relegation battle. It really sucks that they got 10 points deducted, but hey, we'll see what happens with them. They do seem like they still want it though. They're still hungry. They were pushing at the end. They were able to get their goal at the like near the 80th minute, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, like they still have fight. That's something that we can still at least say. Not like the next team that we're gonna cover, Man United versus West Ham. That was not good. That was a disaster for Man United. Ten Hag needs to go. Like, he needs to go. Like, there's no debating it now. Erik ten Hag is not a good manager, at least, or not a good manager for this Man United team. And like, I have no idea what the board of directors are even thinking, keeping him this long. He needs to be fired. And I'm not sure if he's getting this next game and he's fired, or what's happening with him, but they're gonna just keep losing. It's astonishing how much the board is willing to put up with, like, Erik ten Hag. It seems like when they, like, I know they're notorious for actually leaving managers a lot of chances, but it's just kind of crazy. Like, none of his signings have gone really well, except for Martinez, which is hurt. But it's just terrible. And I mean, realistically, the team has no identity. I can't really specify like where in the pitch they're good. Their goalie's not good. Onana's making mistakes though. Defense is just, whoa. Like, what are we gonna say about it? It looks like Aaron Maguire looks like the best defender right now, and it's a problem. Their midfield's just lackluster. It doesn't seem like there's good rotations. Doesn't seem like there's anything really there to make. And then up top, Rashford, he's having a purple patch at least, or not doing very well. Garnacho might be the only bright spot in the team. Højbjerg can't seem to score. I think it's 14 games in the Prem without scoring. Anthony's not good. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, this is just really bad for Man United, it seems like. I think Ten Hag needs to go. I've heard reports that Graham Potter might be in for the position, which, okay, I guess. I mean, he did a terrible job with Chelsea. Let's not get that mistaken. I don't think that's a really good idea. I don't think that's a good move for them either. But I don't know what coach they can even approach, because like Zidane's not gonna want to do it. Nagelsmann, I don't think is gonna want to do it. So I'm not really sure who they can approach to be the coach. I mean, Mourinho could do it, I guess, but I don't think how they ended up last time. But we'll see. With new management coming in, with new owner and stuff coming in, that might help. But let's talk about West Ham a little bit. Lucas Paquetá looks like a great player. He looked, by far, I feel, the best player on the pitch that game. It was just simple. Like, he was dominating the possession. He was dominating the game. He was doing it at his pace. I believe he got both the assists, and it was just good. He was just great. I'm intrigued to see if he gets moved during the summer or if he stays with the club, because I mean, a lot of teams probably do want him in the league, even in the Prem. I think he was linked with Man City and I think Newcastle. So we'll see if he stays or not. But another player that's doing very well that just got a move was Kudus. Kudus has famously said, I don't know if you guys do remember, but he is as good as Neymar. He just needs to, he just doesn't get the attention. That is what he said when he was in Ajax, and he's playing very well at West Ham. He's not playing at Neymar level. Let's not get that mistaken. But he is playing very well. He is looking so much better than Anthony, which Ten Hag maybe should have signed Kudus instead of Anthony for like 100 million. It was much cheaper price tag. I think Kudus got signed for like 25 to 30 maybe. But I'm sorry if I get that mistaken. It will be like down below exactly what his price tag was. But yeah, Kudus looks very good. He seems like he's going to develop into a great player. I'm intrigued where he's going to go in his career as a whole. But yeah, let's see how this young man develops over the years. Um, but yeah, like Man United had the ball a lot of the time, but they just seem to like not know what to do with it, which is kind of confusing. It doesn't seem like nobody wants to make a run. They're just holding possession, and then they're just getting caught in the back foot as well. Like it's just bad. And I don't know how much longer Ten Hag's gonna be in that club. I know some crazy Manchester United fans still want him to be the manager, which is just preposterous, I feel, at this point. This is the first time actually in 33 years that they're not in the top 6 by Christmas. In 33 years. All the terrible managers that they've had recently after Sir Alex Ferguson, they're still the worst right now. They have 9 wins, 1 draw, and 8 losses, if I'm not mistaken. Or 9 losses now. This is before, I think, their next game. I don't remember who they think. I think it's Aston Villa. I'm not 100% sure. I'll again put that down here. But we'll see. But yeah, and it's the first time. Yeah, it's the first time in it's the most losses in 93 years. They're going into Christmas. 93 years. It's almost a century that they haven't lost this much this early in the Premier League. So this is a problem, and I think he needs to go. I just don't know who would come in to replace him, but Ten Hag out. It's not a debate. I think most Manchester United fans should be agreeing with me at this point. If you're not, you're the problem. But let's move on from the Premier League, because there are other leagues in the world that a lot of people don't really talk about. So let's talk about Dortmund. Let's talk about Dortmund and Mainz. Dortmund's game, it was interesting. Let's put it that way. Dortmund created a lot of chances actually for themselves, but they just couldn't seem to finish them a lot. It's kind of been a disappointing season for Dortmund at the moment. I think they're out of the top 4 at the moment. And I'll put the league table up, and they're not going to make a title challenge. I don't think. I think their best hope is to sign someone in January. Not sure who necessarily. Maybe a midfielder. I think they're missing Jude a lot, and they just need reinforcements, because they should be focused at the moment, at least, on trying to get a Champions League spot, because they definitely have the capability. They have the coach. They have the staff. They have the players. They're just not being able to put it together. Seems a little bit unlucky, but at the end of the day, results are what matters, and they're just not having it. Like, it's not going well for them. I'm sad, because obviously I like Dortmund personally. I like Dortmund. I like Marco Reus a lot, but it just doesn't seem to be their season. I feel Jude leaving is the main reason why. Jude, as we can see in Madrid, is banging in the goals, doing so much for them, and that's something that Dortmund, I guess, hasn't corrected for. But you can't really just buy another player that's going to be a Jude. But obviously, they're developing great young talent, how they're used to. They're gonna make someone in a year or two that's probably a great player, just how they've been doing for the past forever seasons, it feels like. But yeah, I mean, Brent had a beautiful free kick goal. It was pretty spectacular to see, honestly. The goalie got a hand to it, but it was just a strong kick. Good, good power on it, and couldn't take it out, but it looked great. And then I don't know, I feel like yeah, I mean, Mainz had a good scrappy goal, and it just is what it is. Mainz had a lot of chances actually near the end of the game where they could have won it, but just weren't able to. And yeah, I mean, 1-1, I guess it's a bit fair for them. I think it's a little bit unlucky for Dortmund, but it is what it is. Let's move on to Wolfsberg and Bayern. Bayern not sitting at the top of the league. That is crazy, because Bayern has been dominating the Bundesliga for so long. And don't get me wrong, they are in the title race. They are a couple of points behind Bayern Leverkusen, which is dominating the Bundesliga. And we'll talk about them right now. But first, let's focus on the Bayern Wolfsberg game. Muller, class. He is class. And I think a lot of us underappreciate Muller. Muller has probably been one of the best players in the last 15 years, I think. I know he's not fast, I know he's not strong, but his positioning, his mental game, just he's able to do all the little things right, perfect almost, and that's what's really good about Mueller. And like I personally think Mueller's gonna be a great coach. Mueller can be such a great coach, I feel, because he understands the game. He knows about it. He has the mental capability, I feel, to process the game. And even though he's not the fastest player, the strongest player, he is able to catch up. Like, you know, he's able to like process everything, and his mentality and his like vision and his football IQ is so high that he's able to place at such a high level for this long and for probably a couple more years. Um, yeah, I cannot sing Muller's praises more. I'm a really big fan of Muller. Um, but yeah, you know, he had 2 assists this game. I know. He got the assist to Harry Kane and the assist to Musiala. Musiala's header just perfectly put right where like Musiala can reach. And then, you know, Kane, yeah, he had like a 25 meters like shot, which was crazy. It's a crazy great goal. But you know, that's kind of what Muller is like gonna do, and what I mean, what Kane is gonna do. Kane is gonna score goals, and he's like, you know, bang them in Germany, and that's great for him. I do not think that he will be in the Ballon d'Or race, though. I don't think they're gonna make it that deep in the Champions League. We might have a little bit. We might cover that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's cover it. We'll do a Champions League video and my predictions in the Champions League. So we'll do that next video. I think that will be the next video. So let's do that. But yeah, I don't think he'll win the Ballon d'Or. I think he'll score a lot of goals in there. I'm not sure if they're even gonna win the Bundesliga yet. They already got knocked out of one competition, and the Dosha Poke, I think they got knocked out. I'm not sure. But I'll also write that below. I'm sorry, I'm writing a lot of stuff now. But yeah, but overall, Bayern are just 4 points behind Leverkusen with a game in hand. So it's still anyone's race in the Bundesliga. So it's gonna be an exciting finish. I hope like the season still is very close at the end. But yeah, and then Wolfsberg aren't doing great, but I mean, not many teams are gonna do great against Bayern. Let's be realistic. Bayern is just such a great team, but Maxime Arnold, I'm sorry, their captain, just scored a screamer, a great goal also, and I don't know, like this is not highlighted enough that I feel like in the Bundesliga, like these great goals and these great players that are playing over like in those countries aren't highlighted, and I'll see if I can like put in a clip or something of the goal. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get copyrighted, so if not, I'll have a link down below with the goal, at least the highlight or the highlights in general. But yeah, and then let's move on. Let's do our last topic of today's video. Let's talk about Bayer Leverkusen and how on fire they are. They played that 4-0. I'm really sorry, I cannot pronounce the other team's name, but it's VfL Bochum. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering this. Um, I'll try to like get to know a little bit better of these all these clubs and how to pronounce them properly. But I'm sorry. But I don't know. But Leverkusen just looks like they're amazing. I like Xavi Alonso is coaching them to perfection. Great pressing, great attacking, no losses, undefeated in the Bundesliga. This is the longest streak I think in history. They just broke the record with this win, and we'll see how long they like last with it. If they go the whole season, hey, like I really hope that Bayern does not win it, because I think it would just be a little bit funny that Harry Kane goes overseas, leaves Tottenham, a notorious team for not winning the title, goes to Bayern, notorious for winning the title and not winning it. I think it would be hilarious, but we'll see. But Leverkusen looks great. Let's talk about Leverkusen first. They just seem faster. They created so many chances, and it's I don't know. It's Frimpong flying down the right side, and Patrick Schick scored a hat trick. I don't know. I don't know. I think Xabi Alonso is probably going to be the coach for Madrid soon. I think, at least. I mean, we'll see. I'm sorry. Excuse me. We'll see if he wants to leave Leverkusen. I think he will. if Madrid comes calling, or if Barca comes calling, or a really really big club comes calling, I think he'll take the job. I mean, he's an ex Madrid legend, obviously. He's an ex Liverpool legend. I'm sure if those two clubs might call him, I'm sure he would probably take the job. Um, but we'll see. Obviously, he might just want to have a couple more years in the Bundesliga, developing his craft. But it looks like he's doing amazing. So I don't know how many more years of development he needs as a coach. But I think he will be the next Madrid coach for the reason that Ancelotti is um, going to be the Brazilian coach, if I'm not wrong. And I mean, not no coach in history I think has done club and international at the same time, and I don't think he will. I think he'll focus on just being an international coach. And Brazil really need a good coach because I don't know if you guys know this, but Brazil is not doing well in the World Cup qualifiers. They are not, like, I think they're barely squeezing into the World Cup at the moment. There's a good amount of games still to play, but this is not the Brazil that we are used to. I know Vinicius is out and I know Neymar is also out, but this is not what is expected at least of Brazil. They lost their first home game, I think in ever in history at least, to Argentina, which was also a crazy game. They didn't look good. It was terrible, and I think Ancelotti is supposed to come in and fix all those problems, and I don't know if he will be able to, but we'll see. He has a very good connection, at least with a lot of Brazilian players. He plays, of course, like with Vinicius, Rodri, and Ederson. Ederson, what's it called, Militao. I think actually that is him. But yes, he has a lot of connections to the Brazilian national team, and he's expected to be the Brazilian national coach. This is the first time I think they're not going to have a Brazilian as a coach as well. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm not sure if he's as good. He's good in Portuguese, but I'm sure Ancelotti can figure it out if he decides to be the coach. Let's move on from that. Let's go back to the Leverkusen game. Um, I'm also wondering, like, they're dominant. They might win the league. They're gonna definitely be in the title race. They already are. They're leading the pack. And what at least is interesting to me right this second is how long will this team be together? Because I'm sure a lot of the big European clubs. I know Leverkusen isn't a small club, but it's not like you know um the cities and like the Barcelonas, the Madrids, um the Liverpools of the world, the Arsenals of the world, I guess now. um the big clubs, the Bayerns, haven't are going to be knocking at their door for a lot of these players, or a lot of these young players. I do know that Florian Wirtz, I think, for me, he looks incredible. He looks like very special talent. I know he's linked with City and Newcastle, a lot of Prem links. Of course, we'll see where he ends up. He might go to Liverpool. I think he's the competition pretty much for, like, with Musiala for that same position. We'll see how that goes. He's a very good player. I'm very interested to see where his next move will be. Um, Another player is Frank Pong. Frank Pong might be one of the best right backs right now in the world, which is very interesting to say because, like, he didn't look that good a couple seasons ago. He just looked like he was fast, but he's now, like, fast, and he's able to, like, cross in the ball well and take players on and do a lot of work. And I'm not sure exactly where he's gonna go. He has links with Barca and Arsenal. I do hope maybe that if Cancelo can't stay, I might actually rather put the money into Frimpong, for the reason that he's younger, and I think whoever does sign him are going to get a really great talent. He has been proven at a top league, at least in the Bundesliga, but we'll see how it goes. And the last player is Grimaldo. Grimaldo just moved there, if I'm not mistaken, and he's looking incredible as well. He is a really good left back. We'll see where he goes. He has links to City, to Newcastle, to a lot of Prem teams, realistically. So we'll see where Grimaldo goes. But yeah, like, Bayer Leverkusen, I'm all for it. I really hope they do win the league. But yeah. So guys, tune in next time, I guess, to see my Champions League predictions. Now that the round of 16's out, let's see who's gonna win it, and let's see if my prediction is right. But yeah, it's been Barca Ball, and have a great day. Bye.